base on that. We'll see what the room, if the room is loud, then we'll interrupt it. Otherwise, we'll just kind of nod when it hits 10. Thank you, Jenny.
I can, but I don't need to take away from something. With all of those. That sounds good. Okay. Me too. Where was it?
morning. Good morning. Our gathering music this morning is provided by Deer and the recorder consort.
Good morning. My name is Tegan Moline, and I serve on your Fellowship Board of Directors. I want to thank you all for being here this morning. There are a few more chairs over here if you need a spot. And I want to extend a special welcome to those of you who are visiting this morning. If you would like more information about the Fellowship, please see folks at the visitors table. Maybe on another Sunday, if you haven't already, because following our service this morning, we have a special congregational meeting back here at 11. So if you are here in person, please return to your seats here in Fellowship Hall as promptly as possible. And if you are joining us on Zoom this morning, the link is the same, so stick around and we will have our special congregational meeting to vote on calling Reverend Kelly Clement as our minister. Whether you are joining us from home or here in Fellowship Hall, we invite you to stay after the service for fellowship, maybe in a different way, and where you can introduce yourself and join in conversation with kindred spirits. Those of you who have children this morning, they will be down in room 1 and 2. They'll be transferred there from their RE classes so that you don't have to try to go pick them up, but between service and the meeting. So they'll be down there. And I'm sure there will be lots of activity and buzz around after our congregational meeting. So do stick around and chat with folks. On behalf of this caring, nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you to this sacred space. Here we invite you into an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, and connections, which may inspire you to understand life in new ways. Thank you for joining us today.
On this special morning, we come out of our separate rooms, our separate homes, our own places, to create shared space, to build a new way, to cultivate this community of care, to make a space for new life, and some life out the window. Oh, happy day, we are all gathered. We can feel the buzz among us. We can feel the electricity crackling on the edge of something new. And I tell you, it is not just this day that it's something new, but each day we gather, we can greet this together. Come, let us gather in fellowship. These words, chalice lighting words, are written by Betsy Darr. May the flame of this chalice give light and warmth to our community when we are joyful and when we despair. And may we feel the warmth spread from our circle to wider and wider circles until all know that we all belong to one circle of life. Let's sing a song of rejoicing. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Please rise in body or spirit as you are called and able. To come up to share a little story. Don't be shy, Clara. Anybody who'd like to come up and help me with a story? Let's see. I've got a box. Can you see it? Yeah. Yep, good. Good. Okay, we got to make room for me over here. I'm going to bring my box in. It's not so heavy yet, but it's going to be. All right, I'm going to set this box down right here. And we're going to fill this box with things for imagination play. It's a play box. So what we get to do is decide what's in it and put things in the box. So if you were going to make a box to create like imagination play, would you want to like maybe put some costumes or some toys in it? What would we want to put inside our box? What? Play stuff. Like what kind of play stuff?
Costumes.
Yeah.
We could put in a costume of my imaginary cat, Freddy. He's an orange cat, tabby with green eyes, and he has this little marking on his forehead that's like M, and then right, and then in the middle where the M goes down.
Okay. I like
The lion gets thicker in the middle, but then gets thicker at the end.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put in a costume of Clara's imaginary play cat, Freddy. It's an orange tabby cat with a green stripe.
No. His eyes are green.
His eyes are green.
The lines are dark brown.
The lines are dark brown, like an orange tabby cat, right, with green eyes. So we're going to put in a costume that looks like Freddy. So anytime somebody wants to pretend to be Freddy, they can put on the costume. Give me another costume idea we might put in there. A fairy godmother. All right, let's put in fairy godmother. Oh, that one's pretty. Oh, that's very nice. Let's put that in. What's another costume we might put in, or costume piece?
A D20 from D&D.
Something from D&D?
A D20.
A D20 from D&D. Specific. Let's put that in. Okay, somebody else. What's another piece of costume you might put in? An alicorn? Alicorn.
It's a unicorn with wings.
A unicorn with wings, an alicorn. Oh, we've learned something new. Okay, let's put that costume in. Now, what about maybe some props or toys or things that might help us do our imagination to tell a story?
We could put in a rose.
Oh, let's put in a rose. Somebody else, tell me something we could put in.
A magic wand.
A magic wand. Excellent idea. That fairy godmother's going to need a magic wand. Woo. Okay, that's in. Yeah. A crown.
But with green emeralds, like in each of the spikes.
Oh, excellent. A crown with green emeralds in each of the spikes. Very fancy. All right. Put that in. A queen for the crown. Okay.
Maybe we sent, so Freddie, for my birthday we did a D&D thing where each of our characters were cats. And Freddie was my character, and Freddie was a cleric, so he lived at a church and he developed his own religion to Mrow, and the symbol of his forehead is actually Mrows.
Are you actually saying that we need a minister in the box? But somebody could pretend to be a cleric.
No, and we could put in like a picture of Mrow in there, and I drew a really bad drawing of Mrow on the back.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got some symbols of that religion of Freddie that Freddie started, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the religion is Mrowism, because
Mrowism. Okay.
Mrow is the god of cats.
Because Mrow is the god of cats. Oh, I like it. This is a good imaginative box. Do we want to put anything else in the box?
The background.
The background. So we need like some painted backgrounds or something, so that we can, like, for telling stories.
Here, I'll paint
Okay,
some.
wait a minute.
I'll paint some.
Oh, good. You're painting one.
I need a
Excellent.
treat just a second.
Okay. All done?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna fold it up into the box.
We need big hoop earrings for the queen.
Big hoop earrings for the queen. I like it. Right in.
And maybe a random hair clip.
Ha! A hair clip. Lots of things. I cannot do without my earrings. Queen's gonna have to find some different ones. Hold on.
One more.
Oh, one more, yeah. Oh, some glasses. Some glasses to go in as well. All right, so let's get some glasses. All right. I'll take them back, because then I can't see you if I don't have them on. This is a really full box, right? Okay, now wait, there's one last thing.
We need to add in some things to show waterbenders what to do, because sometimes you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender and there's a thing called
Okay.
Yeah, waterbending scrolls.
Water-bending scrolls,
Yeah.
right? That's what we need.
To show how we can waterbend.
Okay, so the queen can waterbend. All right, so we've got all of these pieces. Now we're gonna...
Here's some waterbending things.
All right, water bottle, all the things. Guess what? We can keep adding to the things later.
Here's some waterbending
Okay.
things in here.
So here's the thing. We've got our box, and for now we're going to stop adding things to our box. All right? But here's what I want to know. We're going to share playing with the things in the box. How are some of the ways that we think about sharing? What helps us, like, I really want to be the one to wear the fairy godmother, or be the queen, or wear the Freddie costume, but somebody else wants to do it too. How do we learn to share with each other. You all already know. Make another one. Okay, you could create some other things.
Take turns.
Take turns.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, take turns. That's a good one. You got something?
Maybe play with each other, like one person wears his costume, wears the Freddy costume, and another person pretends to be Wow, and they play together.
They play two parts of the game. One in the costume and one something else in the game.
Yeah.
Right? So we take turns and we share and we create more ideas. Never mind? Okay. How about when we get our feelings hurt because sharing is sometimes hard? What do?
Ask a grown-up for help.
Ask a grown-up for help. That's an excellent idea. Let the other person do it? Yeah, that's nice. So kind of generous. Yeah. Find another thing to do, right? So if we get our feelings hurt, because sometimes sharing is hard, we've got some tools. We can create other things. We can ask for help. We can let the other person do it. We've got ways to both create new things and to share.
Yeah.
And learn how to share.
And maybe we could take some stuff down into our RE room for our.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. You know what?
Maybe so, like, if I want to wear the Freddy costume, but like Maya is wearing it, then maybe I can practice my water bending while I wait.
Oh, so you can do something else while you're waiting to do the thing you want to do. Lots of different strategies and tools. Well, thank you for helping me create the magic play box, and I hope we can maybe do this again. And you know what? Will you take this big heavy box now down to RE while we sing you out? It's going to take all of you to help carry, okay? You gonna do it?
Do you want to have it in your room or
I think we're doing large group today.
Okay.
We're going to sing them out, and y'all are going to help carry this big box. You got it?
Oh, it's so heavy.
So heavy.
Here's a trick. When something is
How's your imagination box coming along?
Much better now.
Good, good. All of life here in this room, from the young ones to the more seasoned ones, and all in between. Let us take a few moments to settle in and let our hearts be open here. We take a little time each week to draw into silence, to remind ourselves of the value of a moment of stillness, to recognize that our lives are connected one to another, that we have both responsibility and benefit from all that we do together. We are responsible to each other, for each other, and we receive the love that's in this room. Today, I am thinking in particular about the despair we hold for our democracy. Oh, it's been a hard week to watch the news. It's been so hard. Despair for the right to protest, despair for the continuing rise of authoritarianism, of anti-Semitism, despair for our precious planet, and at the same time, joy in new connections, joy in possibility, joy and woe are woven fine. And what we do here is bring all that is in our hearts, all that is on our minds, knowing that all of it is welcome in this room, in this space, to be vulnerable together. We don't have all the answers. We may not even have some or a few of the answers, but we can be present here together as it comes up. Let's take a few moments of silence to remember how our lives are connected to one another and that we are not alone.
Last week during the potluck, we had the opportunity to fill out some postcards from Candidating Week, or to pick those up and turn them in throughout the week. And our reading this morning is from those postcards. Because we have big dreams here. We dream to be seen and known as a driving force in the Ames community, more active in the area of social justice issues. We dream to ally with the Black community and connect with other marginalized groups. We dream to support and attract college-aged people, to grow enough that we can add the addition on top of the lower level. We dream that the demand for the religious journey we offer here grows so much that we need and get a new building with appropriate parking. We dream we become more diversified as we grow. We want a thriving religious education program, and we want to have as many children as senior citizens. We want more young families to join, so there's more kids in RE to be with my kids, and more parents my age to be friends with too. To have RE outside. To have a place that helps people find meaning and ways to engage with the big issues. To become a united congregation, working together. Much more fun, creativity, dance, the auction. That we spread love and kindness throughout Ames and beyond. We dream to live in unity, harmony, peace, and love. We dream to imagine all the people living life as one. But because we love this place, we have big worries too. We worry about the lack of diversity in age and background. We worry that as elders pass, children in Ames have no sanctuary to feel truly accepted as they are. That not enough new people will join to financially support the fellowship or volunteer their time. We worry that we drift into political extremism and shut our ears to those who think differently. We worry about a lot of white supremacy here, about conflict and divisiveness, about alienation because of social class, race, education, or other reasons. We worry we become superficial or an exclusive group for just some people. We worry about ageism, cliques, stagnation, and lack of engagement. about the upstairs-downstairs demarcation, that we'll remain a club and not expand our insular comfort zone, that we shrink and can't afford our facility or staff, that we burn out our amazing volunteers. We worry that we remain the same. We worry we have no senior choir, fellowship voices right now. And from a young voice, we might worry that it only happens 2 days a week. How precious is that? And we have many reasons to love this fellowship. We love our commitment to Unitarian Universalism and to each other, the caring spirit, the Sunday morning togetherness and inspiration that helps carry the pain of the world, that has messages that focus on how we can help solve problems instead of just stating and emphasizing problems. The people and the connections we love, the community where we belong, the warm welcome and chance to find kindred spirits, the feeling of belonging to a caring community where I can grow spiritually and have been spurred to take action on social justice issues, the ability to have an impact on others. We love being with kind, generous people, social and environmental activism. We love the music. We love down-to-earth views and support of all people, regardless of their origins or beliefs, and openness to different beliefs, both religiously and politically. We love that we are a place of refuge and acceptance. We love the fellowship and caring expressed between and among us, and the love and concern for me as I am. And we love the UUFA because it's fun. Reverend Kelly thanks us for playing the postcard game and hopes you all plant your little seed cards that you got last week. May those grow as a symbol of your love and care. We will now give and receive our offering. Please know that this morning, half of the non-pledge offering will be donated to All Aboard Kids, as chosen by our high school youth group. All Aboard for Kids offers summer day camp programs for all students with special focus for autistic students entering 6th to 12th grades. Held at the Ames Middle School, their STEAM-based programming, that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, is designed to prevent cognitive regression, ease the transition into the next school year, encourage social skill development with peers, and promote physical activity. The other half of the offering will support programs here in our fellowship that make this a community of inspiration and transformation. We'll pass the baskets here in Fellowship Hall, and for those at home or in here with a cell phone, you can go onto our website and make your contribution today. And if you are visiting with us today, please know your presence here is gift enough. We have music from the consort.
Can you feel it? Can you feel that crackle? I felt this all week long. From last Sunday morning, even before that, the LGBT potluck on the Saturday night, to the event, the service on Sunday morning, to the music and arts gathering, so many people there, to the gathering at North Crest the next day, and the finance cluster breakfast, and potluck after potluck after potluck. You folks show up on time with food. The family fellowship night, the meeting I got to have with the Ames Area Religious Leaders Association, where I got to experience Dutch letters for the first time. I get it. I get the hype. Family fellowship night. And then on Thursday was the last day of a lot of meetings. And I was almost to the end of the day. I'd come to the board meeting and the mixer, the long-range planning mixer and the board meeting. And I was getting ready to leave the building to go to the Congregational potluck up on the windy hilltop. But before I left the meeting, I had the most transcendent moment of the week. I was tired. You know, I've had this little tickle in my throat this week. But I heard this music coming from this space. And so I thought, I'm going to go check it out. I knew a choir was rehearsing. And the Ames Chamber artists were in this space. And it seemed to me that there were as many of them as there are you now. There weren't quite that many. How many is in that group? Amy, do you know?
About 65.
About 65 people. This door was open. And I just stood here and leaned on the post. I was kind of tired, and I thought, I'm just going to listen to this music for a while. It just washed over me. These 65 voices singing Come to the Woods by Minneapolis composer Jake Runestad. Complex harmonies, discordant sometimes, and then just soaring refrains. It was transcendent. It was so beautiful. And of so many perfect, lovely moments in the week, this one was the one that felt like, oh, this space is our space. It has echo. It has beauty and creativity and joy and pathos all together in this space among these people. Most are not fellowship members, but many are. Many faces I saw, familiar faces, voices lifted in song. And I just wept. I let it go. I think all of those moments leading up to that were part of that transcendent moment and what we are capable of here. Joan Gary is a nonprofit guru, and she says that nonprofits are messy because of our passion and also because of our power to make change in the world. We change people's lives. My life was changed because of Unitarian Universalism. Your lives were changed too, because you could be doing other things this morning. You could be home reading the Times and having your coffee, doing any number of things. But you come here because there is something that pulls you here and changes your life. If it didn't, if it was just habit, well, it's kind of an inconvenient habit. People ask you to do things and give money and vote, and stand up and sit down and sing. It is a little bit of an inconvenient habit. But when we love it, when we are fueled by our passion for our possibilities to make difference, make change in the world. We come out of our singular rooms to join together to do it. There's so much at stake in the world, and we want to have a voice, a real voice. We want to make a real difference. Joan Gary says that nonprofits, and we are a nonprofit, right? We're a special kind of nonprofit, but I learn a lot from her. Congregations are messy because of our passion and because of our power and because of our longing. There was a major nonprofit executive who said, "Oh, I'm not really in charge of anything. The power comes from all around me." And as you vote today to call your next settled senior minister, I have some thoughts about power and shared power and where power comes from and what this ministry can look like between us, among us, beyond us. To minister means to serve. To minister means to serve, and you have asked for shared ministry, which raises the potential for both messiness and magic. Gary talks about the model of a twin-engine jet, a partnership between two entities, when she's talking about it, between board and staff. But I'm using this model for congregation and minister. And it's a less hierarchical model. The congregations and the minister's engine, each highly functioning, work together. This model tells us important things about a thriving congregation. We can't have one without the other, and we have to build real trust with each other, to share all the things, the joys and the sorrows, the responsibilities and the successes, the wisdom and the worries and the wonderings. I've said this week that some congregations want their church experience to be catered. To be catered. They want everything provided by the staff, and they want to come and consume congregational life, their religious life. There's one congregation in our movement that is extremely wealthy, and I am told that they don't ever do potlucks because everything is literally catered, right? That's not what you ask for, and that's not what I'm signing up for. We make this experience for each other, with each other, for and with the wider world, this shared ministry. We're in the change business here, growing, creating, striving, learning, building connections, making meaning, deepening our care and our commitments. I say it early and often. This faith community changes and saves lives. Your mission statement is all about change, growing spiritually, creating community, striving for justice, learning to love. Y'all know I went to this installation yesterday, and as a part of the installation, the congregation recited back the mission statement. We're going to do that here. I thought that was pretty neat. We're going to do that here. Maybe Dan will set it to music. The Reverend Jennifer Bailey, an elder in the African Methodist Episcopal tradition and founder of the Faith Matters Network, talks about change in this way. Quote, "Social change happens at the speed of relationships, and relationships move at the speed of trust." Social change happens at the speed of relationship, and relationships move at the speed of trust. Trust requires vulnerability, empathy, courage, curiosity, imagination, accountability. And after the great start of this week. It is my hope that we can grow in all these ways and more. And that being said, all of us had better know we are going to disappoint each other. There's just no way we can't. There's just no way we can't. When you love people, they will disappoint you, and you will disappoint them. I just step in here knowing that I'm going to disappoint you in some way. I keep hearing Ella Fitzgerald's voice in my head singing Cole Porter, "It was too hot not to cool down." Shared ministry is messy, and sometimes we'll make a mess. Here's where the trust part comes in. Trust means that we give each other room to grow and room to fail, and then room to come back from failure and begin again in love. If you want a minister who will not fail, you don't want me. Because my spiritual life and practice says I have to have room to fail. And I want to have room for us together to fail and be able to begin again in love. The engine of our shared ministry equals sustainability. Sustainability for all of us. We could not sustain what we have done this past week if we had to do that even 50 weeks of the year, or 30. We can't do that all the time. It's been marvelous, so much fun. And that's not our sustainability project. We're going to learn that together. I know what my rhythm is. I'll learn more about your rhythm. We'll figure out how it works together, sometimes where it gets wonky, and then we'll come back to how it works. But shared ministry means that you don't have to do it all, nor does your minister have to do it all. And let's work out what parts you want to do. Some of you have been doing some of these parts for a very long time. You don't ever have to do one part of congregational life forever. If you signed up to run a committee, you don't have to run it forever. Let's figure out what your sustainability is and what you need. What kind of training do we need? What kind of shared ministry is not just here, it's here. How are you sharing with each other? What needs to be picked up? And what can we set down? Joan Gary says that it's not about keeping all the balls in the air all the time. It's about being thoughtful. Which ones you do, let drop. Shared ministry means more creativity and more imagination. I can't think of all the best ways to do things in my head. I need creative committees and teams. It was so exciting to work with the Sunday services team yesterday and hear what's already happening and the various ways that assembly services are being planned. And the art that happens here, that creativity spurs us to new ideas and the possibility of a new music coordinator in a role that may grow. Shared ministry means surprises. We will surprise each other. I may have an idea about what you can or cannot do, and you will surprise me, and I will surprise you. And we'll find joy, hidden pockets of joy we didn't even expect. Rarely have I been in a congregation with so much health, vitality, passion, longevity, creativity, and deep love for each other, and such hope for your future. You've told me that over and over and over this week. It was refreshing and led to that transcendent moment. It led me to that transcendent moment. all of your wishes and hopes and concerns, your big dreams and your big concerns. This is the stuff of life and relationship. Oh, how grateful and lucky we are to get to be in this together. We are on the cusp, this moment, we are on the cusp of something new, an in-breath, something new and fresh and maybe a little scary and lovely. We are living in the age of apocalypse, whether we feel it or not, whether the apocalypse touches us or not. It is here. It is happening. And these are the people. These are the people that we will go through it with, who will love us in our darkest moments and celebrate with us in our highest joy, and also wash the dishes with us when it's just a Tuesday. I asked in one meeting this week, the line that comes up to me again and again from one of our old hymns, we don't sing much anymore. The line is, are we willing to be changed by what we've started? Are we willing to be changed by what we've started? Are we holding on so tight to what we've been? Or can we open to something new, fresh, unexpected, surprising, a little scary, transcendent? If we are willing to be changed by what we've started, then I think nothing can stop us. May it be so, and blessed be. Let's build a new way. Let's sing about it. We are building a new way is our hymn number 1028. If you will rise and 1017. 1017. I got it wrong on my script here. 1017. It'll come up here. It doesn't matter. We know what to sing. Please rise in body or spirit. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Big and stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without peace, this world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. Do you stay standing for these closing words? Good. Good. Do what feels right to you. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. We are not alone. Let us feel our connections in all the ways, here and as we go out into the world. Oh, please be seated.
Sorry, we have a brief announcement. We will be voting. We have our congregational meeting at 11 o'clock, and we will be voting whether to call Reverend Kelly as our settled minister. And in case you haven't made up your mind yet, we thought that the search committee ought to share some of the notes that we made during our deliberations and have set them to song.
Dan set them.
Okay. She has a gift for music and a background in the theater. Just call her as your minister and you will get to see it here. She's working on a doctorate, her credentials are impeccable. Ordained and doing parish ministry for a decade or more. Experience and wisdom come with her, so no apology, because she's also fluent in the latest of technology to craft a hybrid service, and I hear she has a clever plan to reach the college kids by posting UU stuff on Instagram. In short and matter, spiritual, ethical material, she is the very model of a UU settled minister.
In short and matter, spiritual, ethical material, she is the very model of a UU settled minister.
Her personality is charming, you will love her, just you wait. It's hard to schedule interviews around when she officiates. At weddings and memorial services, she does it all with flair. Her references all say you shouldn't pass on her pastoral care. She served a congregation with an awful lot of humanists, wrote sermons with no G word but can still find something numinous, and writings of the theists, and can preach a wide variety. Like Howard Thurman's angel with a sword guarding the inward sea. In short and matter, spiritual, ethical material, she is the very model of a UU settled minister.
In short and matter, spiritual and ethical material, she is the very model of a UU settled minister.
She stepped up when the senior minister was on sabbatical. Her style of leadership is neither timid nor tyrannical. She works well with committees and her skill with listening is strong, but smiles and cuts you off if you insist on going on too long. She served the fellowship and loves our model of shared ministry and likes to honor feelings that are bound up in our history. I'm glad that she is patient and I'm having trouble wording that. But working with UUs can sometimes be a lot like herding cats. Short matter, spiritual, ethical material, she is the very model of a UU settled minister.
In short and matter, spiritual, ethical material, she is the very model of a UU settled minister.
Let's see. Leadership, pastoral care, and sermons are the common core. The survey said you want someone who does all of these things and more. If you want help with budgetary matters and to grow our pledge, then Kelly says she'll do her best, but that will be a growing edge. But she can link our values to the things that we hear on the news. Directed a nonprofit to protect a woman's right to choose. If you want social justice, you can be sure she will hear the call to fight the crazies writing anti-trans laws at the Capitol. In short and matter, spiritual, ethical material, she is the very model of a UU settled minister.
In short and matter, spiritual, ethical material, she is the very model
candidate for settled minister, Reverend Kelly Clements.
Thank you for your consideration. I am glad to talk to you. I've been here once before, and ever since I have been stalking you. I love the town, the architecture, and your creativity. I'll serve this congregation to the best of my ability. In short, in matters spiritual, ethical, material, I want to move to Ames and serve you as your settled minister.
And welcome to our special congregational meeting. Amy is going to light a chalice for us in the spirit of joy and excitement and gratitude for the work we have to do today. I hope you've had a chance over this last week to get to know Reverend Kelly a little bit more. There were lots of events, and I want to take a moment to thank our hosts of those various events and all of those of you who helped make things happen, from washing dishes and setting up tables and chairs and all of that. It really is a community event to make all this happen. In the spirit of gratitude and thanking folks, I would like to take a moment to thank Deborah and Mali Kumar, who jumped in to restore and revitalize our fellowship website at the beginning of the search process. Not only did you get the site back up and running, but you've also improved it so much that it represents our beautiful congregation in the online world in a way that we can all be proud of. So on behalf of the board and our congregation, I'd like to give you this card. So I had in my notes that I was going to ask Bradley if we reached quorum, but he said, no worries, because we're over 100 people. Wow. So, I'm going to review the rules for today's meeting. An affirmative vote of no less than 85% of the quorum is required to call a minister. UUFA members that are eligible to vote must have been members for at least 30 days. We will be voting by paper ballot for those of you here in Fellowship Hall. Please raise your hand if you do not have a paper ballot. All right, Bradley's going to pass those out. Yep. You'll need a piece of paper if you're here in Fellowship Hall. If you are joining us on Zoom this morning, we will follow our usual process for voting on Zoom, so there will be a poll that pops up on your screen. Please pay attention for that when the time comes to vote. If you have already voted absentee ballot, thank you, but please don't vote again. Proxy voting today is not allowed. If you are a friend of the fellowship, you are welcome to stay and watch how we conduct this business. However, you are not eligible to vote. Lastly, I would like to thank the members of our search committee for their months of hard work. Amber Anderson, Christopher Chase, Carol Crosby, Dan Howe, Melissa Neeson, Susan Norris, and Robin Sin. And I'm going to turn it over to them to tell you a little bit more about the process.
Not singing it today, sorry. I'm sure Dan could have done that, but we ran out of time. The serious part. Yes, the serious part now. Our congregation has a long and proud history of strong lay leadership. In fact, the indication of our heritage is in the lay leadership fellowship movement is still present in our name today. This is a key feature of our congregation that you told us was important. However, we learned during the search process that some ministers aren't interested in serving fellowships and dealing with the potentially tricky relationships to be navigated. Well, if you haven't heard yet, Reverend Kelly is all about relationships. She also has experience serving a fellowship in Wisconsin and is very interested in collaborating with us in shared ministry. As you heard this morning, this was not a plant. I did not read that ahead of time. On the other hand, in order to uphold our congregation's end of shared ministry, it's crucial that we continually cultivate and support lay leaders, things Reverend Kelly is experienced in and is very interested in helping us with. She's excited to be a true partner and collaborator in this journey together. Carol.
Our first conversation with Reverend Kelly came via a Zoomed Getting to Know You meeting. A brief interaction caught my attention. I asked Reverend Kelly a blunt question about the effects of Zooming on churches and fellowships. She answered with warm honesty and then said, "What do you think?" Reverend Kelly's commitment to a shared ministry includes finding answers together. And how about conflict? How does she do with that? We interviewed former congregants, and here's how one responded to the question. I'll tell you a story. It was during a Sunday services team meeting. Two people had absolutely the same perspective, but with entirely different ways of approaching it. There was some, I won't say fisticuffs, but heavy bantering. Others tried to settle it. It was not an enlightened conversation. At the end of the meeting, Kelly said, "Do you mind if I have a closing word?" We thought maybe she was going to read a poem or light a candle, but she addressed the conflict. She wasn't angry. She invited a moment of self-reflection and growth to land in a different place. It worked.
So I'm here to give a brief testimonial as well. I was in charge of investigating candidates' theological, interfaith, and interreligious approaches. As Reverend Kelly told you, she is a religious naturalist. This is well suited for this congregation. Religious naturalism holds that there is nothing supernatural. All that is encompassed by the concept of nature. It also holds that this nature is worthy of worship, which again, like the word ministry, is derived from a verb meaning to serve. So it is worthy of this, it is worthy of adoration and worthy of devotion, including all of those interrelationships within. This has one foot in the naturalistic humanism that, according to our congregational record, is very prominent. It has another foot in the cosmic naturalism that is also very prominent. There are ways in which it connects well and appreciates other approaches that are in our congregation too. Moreover, Reverend Kelly's approach of all relationships all the time means that this is very grounded in the practicality of life. She's mentioned both the framework of AA in her time here and in her bio, and the relational work in our discussions with her of Brene Brown, both focusing on reactions that hold us back, like shame, and moving forward with empathy and compassion, those things that help drive us forward. She's also appropriately skilled in drawing attention to our 6 sources, including number 4, perhaps one of the more contentious ones. In her neutral pulpit, she skillfully taught from Howard Thurman, as mentioned today in the song, which I didn't know was going to be in the song. That was really cool. A Black American theologian and philosopher who was Martin Luther King's minister, learning firsthand from Mohandas Gandhi in India and helping transfer those teachings into nonviolent direct resistance in that part of the civil rights era. I am proud to endorse her ministry for this congregation, and I hope you will too.
Surprise, surprise. I'd like to highlight Reverend Kelly's creativity. Kelly has a theater background. She brings her own musical and storytelling talents to Sunday services and encourages others to share their special talents and get involved. For example, she helps the climate action team at First Unitarian Society get off the ground by creating an intergenerational service with large theatrical puppets of pollinators. Okay. Creative journaling and mixed media visual art are part of Kelly's spirituality and spiritual growth. She was interested in learning more about our gallery in the round and is pleased we are seeking a new music coordinator. You may have heard Kelly say, "I want to be used as your coach and cheerleader." To me, this shows a creative approach to ministry. I'm losing my place, I'm sorry. Okay. Take a deep breath. Whether she is setting the stage for a Sunday service, youth activity, or parading pollinator puppets as part of fellowship social justice work, Reverend Kelly's creativity is a great strength and will enliven our shared leadership and congregation as we discover who we are now and where we want to go in the future.
As we are aware, a settled minister has a variety of duties that require balancing a lot of sometimes competing needs. Kelly has significant experience balancing competing demands like multiple ministerial positions, both the contract and the ministerial position in Minnesota, along with a PhD program, for example. Or a ministerial interview and officiating a wedding in the same weekend. The ability to remain unflustered, able to switch gears quickly, the flexibility, and even agreeing when Dan says, "Hey, we have an alternate set of lyrics for you to sing." This balanced flexibility, ability to juggle assorted responsibilities, but also not losing sight of what's important, is why I think Kelly will be a good fit for our UUFA.
With social justice, we had two concerns. The first is that Iowa's current political climate might scare off potential ministers. Fortunately, Kelly is not afraid of a challenge. She has experience standing up for reproductive rights and gender justice in Minnesota and wants to bring some of that wisdom and enthusiasm to a more politically conservative state to help advance the cause. Our second concern was that demonstrating at the state capitol might divert a minister's focus from the fellowship's other needs. One of Kelly's colleagues reassured me that it wouldn't. Kelly is less interested in making a statement than she is in building and strengthening relationships to affect change, as she said, at the speed of trust. Another reference praised how Kelly was able to draw on her social justice contacts and experience to bring new ideas and voices into Sunday services. As Kelly said, we live in apocalyptic times, and I definitely feel that sense of urgency. We can't stay true to our UU values if we are on the sidelines. But the way Kelly talks about social justice and climate action makes it feel like an invitation rather than a burden.
Robin Sin was unable to join us today. She's off on a work trip right now, so I'll read her testimonial here. Ministering or listening to and caring for the individuals in our community is a foundational part of being a settled minister. From the moment we met Reverend Kelly, she demonstrated care and concern for each of us. In our first Zoom meeting, she asked if she could start with the chalice lighting and ended by asking us how we, the search committee, were doing. The more we got to know Kelly, the more we realized she is truly all relationships all the time. One of her references said that Kelly's middle name is relationship. It's at the heart of her ministry. Watching Kelly interact with individuals and groups here at the fellowship, I'm confident she has the skills and the heart to thoughtfully minister to the fellowship. And now, Madam Chair, on behalf of all 7 of us serving on your ministerial search committee, I move that we call Reverend Kelly Clement as our 4th settled minister.
As this motion comes from committee, we do not need a second on the floor.
I second.
We do not need one. It comes from committee, we're set, we can vote. So, as we vote, as you have your paper ballots here in Fellowship Hall, there are a set of baskets under the chairs of folks sitting on the window side. Please grab your baskets and deposit your ballots as you pass them across to the door side of the room, where they will be collected and promptly counted. If you are short of a pen, please raise your hand, as I am sure a neighbor can loan you one, or we have some hanging around. If you are on Zoom, please complete the poll as it pops up on your screen. All right. Thank you to those of you who counted ballots here in the room. After combining the absentee ballots that were turned in ahead of time, the Zoom votes that we got, and the votes here in the room, I am so pleased to say that with 100% of the votes, we have decided to call Reverend Kelly Clement as our next settled minister.
Thank you. With a glad and grateful heart, with humility and a good measure of patience, I accept your call to settled ministry.
And we're gonna make it super official. We're gonna sign the contract right now. All right. So Reverend Kelly will be starting officially on August 1st, but I'm sure she'll be in touch. She's been in touch for a while. So that adjourns our meeting for today. Thank you all for turning out, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.